here with Kel Vine with his 1965 Simca Monte Carlo, which looks very much like a Fiat 500 Jolly to me. Is it just a 500 Jolly with Simca badges, or is it more than that?
It's slightly more than that. It was done for a particular market, very similar for the yachting fraternity and for tourism.
So when you say a different market, which market?
Malta.
Okay, so how many were made?
We believe 100 were made.
Okay, so 100
sure.
cars made just for Malta.
Yeah.
Okay, and why were they made?
Well, it's made for the Maltese Tourist Authority, and they're all right-hand drive, all the same colour, mainly for visitors.
Okay, so how does it differ from a 500? Is it fundamentally a 500 in terms of the running gear and a lot of the bodywork?
The chassis is basically a 500F.
Right.
The running gear is from a Fiat estate car, so it's slightly different. And the roof is obviously different to the Jolly. It's a convertible.
Okay. How long have you owned the car?
Over 30 years.
Okay. And did you buy it like this, or is it restored?
Scruffy.
Okay. So you've restored it?
Yes.
When you came to restore it, looking at it, a lot of this is not 500. So where did you get the bits from?
Well, the bits are mainly off a Fiat shelf or a Simca shelf somewhere. Right. The bumpers have been changed because I didn't like the original ones, but that's my choice. Basically, the rest of it, apart from the steering wheel, are pretty kosher.
Okay, and presumably, if they only made 100, not many are around.
Well, we don't know. The records are pretty sketchy, and the Simca Historical Society are very sketchy on details. But we think there's probably one in Malta and one in Cyprus and this one. But this one did come from Malta.
So this is the only one in the UK?
Yeah, in the UK,
that's known of. Okay. I'm looking at the bits that are very clearly specific to this car. We have a rather neat roof. Presumably it was designed to be used with the roof up rather than folded away for shade.
But the speed limit is probably 50 miles an hour maximum.
Right.
It's more of a sunshade than a wet roof. It was designed to be a convertible, so in the warm climates of the Mediterranean, it would be down.
Yeah, and presumably there were no side screens, it would always be open, so there's no weather protection.
Yeah.
We've got what look like wicker seats.
They're called wicker seats, but their centre came from New Guinea.
Okay, that sounds intriguing. I think my mother had a basket that looked very much like that at one time.
It probably would be.
And what about the running gear? So it's a two-cylinder Fiat 500 engine, presumably.
It's a German engine, so it's an ELX engine, one would say.
Right.
It's 703cc, and I had built it from scratch. But when we had the car originally, no engine, no gearbox.
So originally would it have had a 499?
Yes, 499.
499 500
Fiat,
engine.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
4-speed manual gearbox.
Yes.
Okay. And all the suspension brakes are standard Fiat 500?
Yes. Most of the running gear and the parts are 500.
So why does this car carry Simca badges rather than Fiat badges?
Well, I think Fiat bought Simca during the early 30s, and they sold it in about 1968. It was a way of letting Fiat cars be built and marketed in France. Probably a tax export thing.
Okay. And is the car completely finished now, or are there still things to do?
Well, you're always running into things to do, and there are a few things I need to do, like the windscreen rubbers have gone a bit hard, but it's original, so it needs replacing. But apart from that, no, she's complete.
Well, here's to a hot summer next year and getting out and putting some miles on the clock.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, cheers.
Cheers.